Let's begin with the very top right up here. You'll see that in this box, the writer who's going to be completing this page puts the full name, printed so that it's easily read. Following that, we have a setup that is the identical formation as the ticket on the pot. That is, it begins with the department number, then the potter's code letters, 4 of them, and then the price. If you'll notice, there's no need for zeros here. The fewer symbols we have on a page that we don't need, the less chance there is for error. So you list the items on your counter, ticket by ticket, and let's look now at this one. This came from section 8, which is the bulk area, and they were $8 items. There were 2 of them from the same potter for the same price. So rather than make 2 lines, we do them both on a single line, indicating 2 at $8 and $16 total. Notice this $sign. It is the only time that the writer writes a $sign. And that's to make it clear that we're not talking $2 times 8 items, but in fact, 2 items times $8. If you have a large order and it's going to take more than 1 receipt, then you'll go to a second receipt indicating in your tally, your total column here, that the total will appear down below. Once you've done the whole receipt, this is your subtotal. This is the tax that you've discovered from the tax table, and this is the grand total. Notice that we have printed all of these very carefully. If for any reason you come down on your last receipt here and you're going to need more than this 1 receipt, then you can cross out the entire receipt and move to the next page rather than having the sale on 2 different pages. Whenever possible, keep the entire sale on a single page. As we look at the book that we're going to write, we find that there are 2 pages in that book for each page of receipts. The first page stays in the book for the computer input people. The second page is perforated and a copy of the receipt goes to the customer. Let's look at some generalizations about the whole business of being a writer. To begin with, obviously we want to move as quickly and as efficiently as possible, but not at the expense of accuracy. You'll find that on Friday and on Saturday mornings between around 11 and 2, it's extremely busy, and there's a real chance for error when it gets that busy. We want to hurry, we want to get our sales finished, but not at the price of accuracy. So keep a steady pace, but no speeding. As you receive the pieces from the customer, make sure that it is you and not your wrapper who is going to be recording or saying the numbers. Don't have the wrapper read the ticket to you. That's another chance for an error. Be sure and print clearly and press hard. We want to make sure that that second copy is just as legible as the first. Use the calculator for every sale, even if there are only 2 items, and you could easily do it in your head and probably correctly. Take the probably out of the question and use the calculator for both the sale and then look at the tax table. Again, don't assume or try and calculate that tax in your head. There's another chance for an error. Obviously, we want to be sociable and nice to our customers. But when you're in the situation, the 11 to 2 situation of Friday and Saturday, and the crowd is pressing to be the next in line, be sure you don't spend a whole lot of time gabbing with the customers. Be polite, be kind, and so forth, but keep the sale moving. This is very important. Many of your sales will be credit cards, and we'll deal with that in a minute. Be sure that the actual credit card is either in your hand or the hand of the customer. Never put the credit card on the counter. We've had several each year left behind. So be sure that you hold on to the credit card, you or the customer. And finally, during those busy times, especially when you are waiting for that next customer, you finish with your sale. There are so many people packed into this area during those rush hours that it's difficult to see you as a writer. So you'll have a person doing line control at the front, and you want to signal to that person that you are now ready to take the next sale. So be sure that you raise your hand, do anything you can to get the attention of that line control, and make sure that they know that you are ready. It's very important that we keep that line moving. Some of the customers will be in line for as long as 35 minutes. And for them to see an empty station and a writer just sitting there, it's very upsetting to them. So as soon as you're free, get that hand up and let the line control person know that you're ready for the next sale. You'll be taking the monies for the sale in different ways. Cash, of course. You'll have a cash box between you and the next writer. Use that for making change. Checks are acceptable, and all we need on the check is the phone number of the person. We don't need to check their personal ID or their license plate number. And finally, credit cards. We take any of the 4 major credit cards. If you should have some problem with your credit card machine, please don't try and correct it yourself. Let's say that you've made a mistake and you've put a wrong number in, and you know you have. Please call the person who's the head of the area for that time. It'll be Tom or Lonnie or someone like that who's taking charge of that area. Don't you yourself try and make the changes on the computer. Any refunds are not done by you, but by that other person. Any problems with the computer or the credit card machine will be dealt with by the supervisor, not by the individual writers. We want for this to be a good experience for both you and for the customers. Remember, the writer is the bottom of the funnel. Thinking of a funnel shape, the whole show from the beginning of making the pots and labeling the pots and wrapping the pots, getting them to the storage, setting up this magnificent setting, all of that boils down to you as a writer doing the final activity. Whether the potter is going to receive an accurate amount of money or not is dependent upon you. I don't want to frighten you with this. I just want to alert you that your job is an important one. And we're so very happy that we have someone of your abilities volunteer to do the writing. It's a key job, and we look forward to your having it be a good experience. We'll see you at the market.